Thanks everyone for joining me, Anomaly, also known as John, on the $5 Journey channel. I also want to say thank you to everyone who purchased the $5 Journey book. You guys have been awesome. I really appreciate all the feedback that I've been getting. Hopefully you guys are able to gain something from it and grow from it. The feedback that I've been getting is kind of an affirmation, a positive affirmation as far as that goes. So hopefully, as we continue to go along this journey of financial progression, we'll be able to come up with great ideas how we can all kind of, elevate the community, right? Elevate those that are in the working class, the working poor, the retired who may need a little bit extra help or some insight on financial progression, so hopefully we'll all be able to move forward together. That's my hope. I also really want to get teenagers, preteens involved in this as well, because like I said, having gone to graduate school a couple times over, undergraduate and, high school and all that other stuff, I really did not learn about financial education. Okay, it was my father and other influencers in my life, in my world, who really taught that to me. And I really think that there should be some sort of curriculum introduced into the school system. I'm not introducing a curriculum, I don't think, but maybe in the future, I don't know. But I am going to be working on a workbook. Okay, it's going to be a workbook. It's going to be for 7th, 8th, and high school students. All right, 7th, 8th graders and high school students. So that's going to be one of those things that's going to be coming in the future, down the pike. All right, and of course, continue to check me out on Facebook, on Twitter, also Outlook. All my information will be in the captions below. And hopefully you guys will enjoy this. Today I'm going to be talking about 3 financial commitments. All right, 3 financial commitments. It's right on the verge of a new year. Okay, I'm gonna be bringing in the new year. Actually, I'm gonna just take off to go to church soon. All right, and enjoy that. I was actually at church this morning. Okay, now this is actually a financial channel. It's I don't want to bring too much confusion into this, but I do want to say that when I went to church this morning, I noticed, the preacher was actually talking about some really good things that I thought could be useful, especially going from 2017 into 2018. And at whatever point, these are really good things to actually think about. Okay, so I'm not gonna get all too deep into religion on anybody, but these are just some things that I was able to kind of exhume from the lesson today. All right. So 3 financial commitments, all right, to think about making these, all right, in maybe New Year's resolutions, or maybe it's a daily thing that you want to do, or maybe it's a monthly thing, or some, but these are really, really good. The first one is commit to let go of failures. Okay, so what do I mean by that? All right, a lot of times we may have bad experiences. Maybe we had bad experiences in life and relationships. Maybe we had bad experience in finances, right? Now, what does this have to do with finances? All right. So when you commit to let go of your failures, there's sometimes what happens is we hang on and we give energy to those failures, and our mind stays fixed on what those failures are and the inadequacies that we feel because of those failures, right? And really, it robs you of being able to put time and energy and mental energy and emotional energy into financial progress, right? This is what this channel is all about. This is what the book, The $5 Journey, is all about. It's about financial progress, all right? And when you're holding on to your failures, right? If you don't let them go, if you're holding on to your failures, then it's going to be really, really difficult for you to progress in any area of your life, all right? But especially in finances, because if you're at that point where you're kind of trying to figure out a side hustle, you're trying to use your knowledge, maybe your experience in a compound hustle kind of way, you're trying to figure out this whole thing about compound interest, you're trying to figure out about REITs and mutual funds and stock and everything like that, you're trying to figure all that stuff out, but at the same time you're spending a lot of mental energy and emotional energy on all this past failure stuff. I mean, it's just it's gonna suck the life out of you. It's gonna demotivate you. It's not gonna energize you. It's gonna do the opposite of that, right? It's gonna just kind of suck you dry. All right, so those things, so make sure that whatever you do, you try to commit to letting go of those failures. Now, and I'm a firm believer that in anything that you go through, whether good, bad, happy, sad, right, good times, all that kind of, there's always some sort of learning that can take place. All right, so whatever lessons you've learned from the failures, keep those, all right? Keep those lessons. So those lessons will be stepping stones to take you to the next level of financial progression. Okay, so quick story, and I wrote about this in the book. There was this company that, they were given like these really, really big returns. Now this is in 2017. All right, there was this company given really big returns. And really all they needed was a $10,000 investment, and they would basically be giving you a 12% return every single month, right, for the next 3 years, which was great. It was awesome. I was like, okay, I'm all in. Let's get this together. So I invested in that company, and to my dismay, it was a kind of like some sort of Ponzi scheme. Okay. So I lost my money. Unfortunately, I had other family members involved. They lost their money. Had some friends involved. They lost their money. So it was a downtime, definitely for me. And my first thought was, oh man, I just need to give up on all this financial stuff. And I clearly don't know what I'm doing. Now meanwhile, I had made a whole lot of leaps and bounds as far as my own financial progress that year and the years prior to that too, right? Tons of stuff, but I was fixated on that failure, on that one failure actually, and I let it consume me. Even now, I still kind of have to fight off the thoughts from that. What I did was, I said, well, you know what? I'm gonna offset that. I'm gonna do something to counteract that. Okay, and that's when I went to actually writing the book, The $5 Journey. Okay, and that's where that came from, because up until then I had been procrastinating. I wanted to write a book, but I let procrastination set in. So the moral of the story is, let go of your failures, because they will consume you, they'll drown you, they'll suck all the motivation out of you, and it'll prevent you from getting ahead financially. All right, and when you get ahead financially, your family can get ahead financially, your friends can get ahead financially, the organizations maybe that you're connected to can get ahead financially, right? Everybody moving in the same direction. Okay, so commit to let go of your failures. Also, commit to give up grudges. All right, now what does that have to do with finances? I'm glad you asked. It's a very smart question. All right, so what it has to do with is, again, when you have your energy, when you have your emotional energy, your mental energy, your time fixated on someone that you dislike, or someone that you hate really badly, right? Someone that maybe they wronged you in some sort of unforgivable way, and that kind of thing. So I'm not minimizing that. But what I am saying is, when you give a whole lot of energy to the anger and the resentment that comes along with that, you have a certain amount of energy, inside of you. All right? And if you're taking a large chunk of that energy, right, and putting it into a negative direction, then you're only going to be left with a small amount of energy to be put into a positive direction, right? So really you end up being kind of off balance, for all those yin yang kind of people. You're really off balance when you do a lot of that stuff. So you want to try to be as balanced as possible. You don't want to, I'm not saying to let certain people back in your life if they've wronged you really badly, or if they can't be trusted. I'm not saying any of that. What I am saying is, don't put emotional energy, don't put mental energy, don't put time and all that other stuff into grudges, right? Now, it may take a little bit of work on your part to kind of get to a point of forgiveness, right? Or get to a point where you're able to kind of, just kind of, brush it off a little bit. But, put in the work. because it's going to be really, really important. It's going to be really important that you find a way to actually let go of that stuff. All right, don't let it consume you. Don't let that energy be taken. And then you end up robbing yourself of your own financial progress, your own financial freedom, your own financial future. Okay, so you want to make sure that. So remember, it's financial. These are financial commitments. So when you let go of your failure, you're saying, okay, well, instead of taking up that mental energy that I was putting towards the past, I want to put that mental energy towards the future, right? With this second one, you're saying, commit to give up grudges. Instead of taking that emotional energy, right, that mental energy, right, that time from hating someone, right, or resenting someone, you're going to take that same emotional energy, that same time, that same mental energy, you're going to be putting it in the direction of your finances, right? Like all systems go, right? You ever see like a space movie or something like that, and they're like low on power or something. Like this, all of them are Star Trek fans, right? They're low on power, and then they're like, maybe they're getting bombarded by the Klingon ships or something like that, right? And they say, okay, let's take all energy from the thrusters and put them into the shields, right? And Captain Kirk puts all the energy into the shields, right? So it could kind of, take on the onslaught of the Klingons or whoever else was trying to attack them, right? So it's the same thing. When you give up the grudges, right? You're taking the energy from one thing that's not getting you anyplace. Because holding on to a grudge, I mean, really, where does it get you? It's not going to get you anyplace, right? I know people who've done like the dumbest things, right? And they've ended up in jail because they refuse to let go of the grudges. They've held on to stuff. And then they do something stupid out of anger because it's been building up and building up and building up. They've been giving so much energy to these things, so much negative mental energy towards these things, right? It just builds up until they do something really stupid. They're doing something that comes from a negative place, and they'll end up either doing something that costs them a lot of money, something that humiliates them, or something that gets them thrown in jail, right? So one of those things they end up doing, and then they end up, really screwing themselves. All right, so like holding on to grudges, it's really not going to get you anyplace except in more trouble. And then also you're robbing yourself of that financial energy, that financial thinking power that you could be using to progress yourself financially. All right, so commit to give up grudges. All right, last thing is commit to financial literacy. There's so many different financial vehicles that you guys can be implementing, to be using to take you to that next level, right? To have like a passive income coming in. There is business ownership, and I've talked about not only I've talked about business ownership, probably like the tax, some of the tax advantages that you'll have, right? But there's also financial advantages that you'll have because, you can decide to pay people how much you want to pay them. I mean, don't be a jerk about things, make sure you pay people, living wage and everything like that. I'm not saying that, but at the end of the day, when all the expenses have been paid, when the payrolls have been paid, you are the one that's left with the bulk of that money, all right? Now, hopefully it's a profitable business, but that's another video. But anyways, so that's the thing. So there's business ownership. There are stocks and bonds, right? Investing in the market, investing in mutual funds, investing in REITs, right? Investing in, some people have been investing in cryptocurrencies, right? Like Bitcoin, Lightchain, Ethereum, I think is the other one that's on Coinbase. I'll make sure I put all those links in below. There's, I think I said REITs, right? So there's annuities, there's those kinds of things. So there's also percentages of businesses, right, that you can invest in. Maybe you're not necessarily running a business, but maybe you're able to put money into a startup or put money into an ongoing business that maybe needs some investor money to take themselves to the next level, right? That's really what they do on Shark Tank. If anyone's ever watched Shark Tank, they a lot of times these are businesses that are already up and running, and they need money from these Shark Tank investors to take their business to the next level, right? So that's what it is. So commit to financial literacy. Learn about some of these things. Learn about like REITs. Learn about mutual funds. Learn about the kind of stock, like what you can do. Learn about stock options, right? Calls and puts. Learn about annuities, all right? There's a bunch that could be learned about annuities. Now, if you guys need a financial advisor, I am not that, okay? So just to be clear, I'm not a financial advisor, which I've said before, but I do have a financial advisor that I use who is extremely knowledgeable. I mean, he lives, eats, sleeps, breathes financial advice, all right? So, and he makes himself available at any point. He's actually with a company called Equitable. But if you guys need any sort of information, let me know. If you need information from the, about financial stuff, let me know, and I'll gladly forward his number to you. Listen, I am not getting paid by him or his company or any other company that I have endorsed up to this point. If that should happen at some point, I will let you all know, believe me. All right. But I haven't, I'm not getting paid. Also, taxes are a big thing. All right. Make sure with this whole financial literacy thing, make sure you get in touch with a good accountant, someone who can really, really help you, who could really get an understanding of what your finances are, and maybe can set up some tax shelters for you. Okay, so what do I mean by tax shelters? Okay, so let's say you make $40,000, right? You are not bringing home $40,000 per year. You are making $40,000, and then taxes are coming out of that, and then you're left with maybe $30,000, right, at the end of the year. Okay, so there may be certain tax shelters that you can get, but you just don't know about them because you are not a tax professional. All right, and these tax shelters, give you one example. In that same example where I said 40,000, maybe you're taking home 30,000, putting in the right tax shelters can mean like you're getting paid 40,000 and you're taking home 35,000, or you're taking home 34,000, or maybe you're getting 40,000, you're taking home 38,000. So it's those things. It's really, really important. Nothing against any of these Jackson Hewitts and the different other small tax places around that have people in there who may or may not have their CPA, may or may not be a CPA, but it would be really to your benefit to get in contact with a certified tax professional. All right, certified public accountant, CPA. All right, if you need one, I do have one that I use, very trusted, good friend of mine actually. And no, I am not getting paid by him either, okay? So let's just get that. No, because you have to say it, because otherwise people think that, what you're putting out is some sort of gimmick or something like that. I've seen that myself, and I'm like, okay, why is this person pushing this other person so hard? Then it comes to find out, oh yeah, well, they're in bed together. So, the person is not necessarily going to give me the best advice possible. This person is just trying to make a fast buck. All right. So what I'm trying to tell you is I am not necessarily prescribing certain people to you because I am going to receive any sort of cash benefit from it. I'm not at this point at least. But these are individuals, these are companies that I've worked with for years. Okay. So, and I've never gone wrong. I mean, they have a 100% record. If we were talking about basketball, right? And the person has maybe like a, whenever they go to the free throw line, 10 times and they hit it maybe 7 times. So they have a 70% free throw record from the line. These people, if they have 10 free throws attempts, they hit all 10 in my book. All right, so they're 100%, never failed me. All right, so those are it. So the 3 financial commitments, right, going from 2017 and 2018. All right, commit to let go of your failures. Commit to give up your grudges, right? And commit to financial literacy. Learn a couple of things. Let's figure out a better usage of your time, your energy, all that kind of stuff, so that we can progress financially, all right? And so, again, contact me. You can, Outlook, Twitter, Facebook, any one of those things. Pick up a copy of the book if you can. I mean, that would be great. Now that I do get paid for, okay? So, pick up a copy of the book. That would be wonderful. But, a lot of the information that's in the book, I give to you guys, and probably more through YouTube, through Facebook, through other, venues that I've mentioned, all right? So, just keep on progressing financially, keep hustling, keep thinking of new ways. Use that compound hustle, whatever your knowledge and your experiences are, can be of cash significance to you, can build, can add assets, can add value to your portfolio, to your own personal portfolio. Okay, so remember, financial literacy, stocks, bonds, REITs, real estate, financial advising, accounting, all those things, all right? So make sure you check those things. Annuities, I don't know if I mentioned that. All right, annuities also, as far as like asset protection, okay, that's what annuities offer. Also insurance and things like that, that's what they offer too. All right, and tax havens, okay? So you want to make sure you get literate in all that kind of stuff if possible. Okay, thanks a lot for joining us, or joining me at the $5 Journey channel. I hope everyone has a great new year, an awesome time. I hope that in 2018 we can grow more in numbers and also in finances. Thank you so much to everyone who's purchased a book so far. It's been great. The comments are wonderful. Keep them coming. It gets me thinking, gets me interacting, and really kind of revs me up. So I appreciate all that. I appreciate you guys. Happy holidays and also Happy New Year's. Take care. Bye.